Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Superwoman Wellness. So excited about this one. We are in 2024, and it's going to be a great year, guys. I can feel it. But I wanted to talk today about 2024 health trends. You know, every year we see the landscape on health and wellness, and what we are all chasing start to change. Think about it for a second. One year it was what? Intermittent fasting. The year before it was paleo. Don't forget, keto made a comeback at some point. And all of it leaves us motivated, inspired, but sometimes at the end of the day, super confused. For those of you who don't know, I've been practicing in the integrative and holistic medicine space for 15 years. I see patients along with my incredible team at Center Spring MD. And through the journey of now probably close to 40,000 patients, we have learned over and over again that trends come and go. So even as I talk to you today about the 2024 health trends, I want you to remember that your health at the end of the day is your story. But I am super excited about these trends because they're headed in that direction. They're headed in the direction of understanding that for each of us, our health is unique. It's a part of a bigger picture, and it's really important to connect the dots. That's why the number one health trend for 2024 is a move, a desire, a push, almost a revolution towards holistic health. Now, the word holistic is so interesting to me, right? When I started 15 years ago, it was actually in the name of my practice. We were the Atlanta Center for Holistic and Integrative Medicine, and it worked. People instantly got it. But there were a population of patients that came through, and I'm not sure what they thought. Maybe that I had dreads, or I only was vegetarian, or smoked pot. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with that, but the word holistic definitely had a certain connotation, not always very positive. Well, as I continue to practice, the recommendation was to actually get away from that word because we were doing real medicine, meaning we were at times prescribing, sending people for radiology, functioning as a full family practice. And the word holistic connotated, insinuated almost that I was doing something that was only in the world or sort of this other world that was not embraced by Western medicine, when in reality, we were merging and continue to merging the best of Eastern and Western medicine together and really creating a toolbox for a patient, picking from that the modalities that would work the best depending on their personal story. Now, what we're seeing in 2024 is that the word holistic is back, better than ever before, but with a whole new meaning and a whole new connotation around it. Now, holistic truly means understanding the whole person, understanding how your mind, your body, and your spirit interconnect, understanding concepts like the five bodies, that you have an emotional body, a physical body, an energetic body, a spiritual body, a community body, and they all speak to each other and communicate and determine the course of our lives. People want a holistic plan for their health. They want to understand how their food and their movement and their sleep and their stress all impact the numbers they're seeing on lab work. They want to know why their hormones crash or don't, depending on what they're doing with their lives. And they want to understand how the entire arc of their lives, whether it's the trauma they've experienced, their relationships, their genetics, or even intergenerational ideas, are playing into what they're seeing today. So holistic is made a comeback. And one of the 2024 health trends that I couldn't be happier about is this move towards holistic medicine and holistic health. I am so excited that this is what you, the consumer, what you want to see. It is what we, the doctors, want to see as well. The only challenge and the rub continues to be how to make it actionable, practical, and put it into motion for everyone. Well, that's a lot of my mission and my purpose. I am here to make sure I see that in my lifetime. So, holistic health, a trend for 2024. And the challenge for you, are you thinking about yourself holistically? Are you putting the arc of your health together? Are you thinking through the many different facets? Or are you getting tied into lab values and lab numbers and really getting into data excessively but not pulling back for a second and understanding how it all plays together. It's all connected, guys. I'll probably go down on my grave. It's probably going to be on my tombstone. She said it's all connected. Anyhow, moving on from that term, which is a trend for 2024, is another one that you guys can probably relate to. We've been talking about it so much in practice. Blood sugar tracking. Where's your blood sugar? Was it high? Is it low? Is it in between? What's it doing? Here's what I think is incredibly exciting. For so long, it was very difficult for any of us to understand how our day-to-day life, our habits, our food, what we drank, and so much more, how any of it really impacted what was happening with our weight, our belly fat, our mood, our ability to focus and concentrate, and so much more. But with the advent of blood sugar trackers, things like the Freestyle Libre or the Dexcom, both of which are real-time tracking tools to understand what your blood sugar is doing, we have more information in our hands. Now, the academics will pull back and say, well, I did that, but the number on the blood work was different than the number on the tracker. Wrong message, wrong point. Remember, wearing a tracker is to look at trends and patterns, not to get married to an individual data point. So when we wear these trackers, we learn all kinds of crazy things. I've had patients come in after wearing a blood sugar tracker and finding out that if they simply walked 10 minutes after dinner, they were able eventually to lose about 20 pounds in the course of a month or a month and a half. I've had patients learn that whenever they had an alcoholic drink, their blood sugar would actually bottom out. It would go way down into the 50s and then spike way back up into the hundreds or 200s. That concept of reactive hypoglycemia was then triggering the beginnings of insulin resistance and contributing to their hormone crashes along with their weight gain. Powerful stuff, and you can see it in real time. Here's my favorite story about me. I wear the trackers, I try to do the right things, but take me on vacation, especially in the sun, and guess what happens to my blood sugar numbers? They come down despite getting in more sugar, probably indulging a little bit more, eating dairy, even cheating from time to time, and eating some gluten. My numbers are better. What's the deal there? Well, bottom line, my cortisol levels, my sleep improve when I'm on vacation, improving my numbers. There's so much we can learn from blood tracking. And by learning what's going on with our blood sugar numbers as we walk through the rhythm of life, we become more equipped and more powerful to really understand why our bodies might change, why our mental capacity and mental health may change, or even where our mood may shift. In fact, even our sleep is connected to blood sugar. I have so many patients that have worn the monitor, and they'll find that wake up that they have, it's a blood sugar dip or a blood sugar spike. So understanding the power that blood sugar has on our health, but now being able to watch it in real time is fascinating, informative, and empowering. So this is a super exciting trend for 2024. Now, this particular trend is connected. I'm going to say the O word. I wonder if you guys know what I'm going to say. This particular trend is connected to Ozempic, Wegovy, Moderna, tirzepatide, all these medications out there that seemingly are all the rage. Well, most of these medications, they're GLP-1 medications, are controlling blood sugar, right? Blood sugar levels have been rising and higher due to overconsumption, inactivity, environmental toxicity, and so much more. And these medications do correct them, but with a really high cost, right? There's side effects. As I'm doing this podcast today with all of you, there was an article out just yesterday talking about the side effects, which always get underplayed by the pharmaceutical companies, but talking about the side effects of these GLP-1 medications, which include something called gastroparesis, which is where we're not moving things through the gut effectively, but now also being implicated in things like hair loss, increased suicidal risk, mental health disturbances, and more. Is it worth it? I'd rather wear a blood sugar tracker, to be honest. But good news, there are natural alternatives to these GLP-1 medications, and they've always been there. This is not anything new. These natural alternatives are everything from supplements and herbs that have existed over a long period of time to foods that are naturally occurring that we may be consuming on a day in and day out basis, simply not aware. Let's talk about some of them. One of them you've probably heard me mention before is an herb called berberine. Berberine, again, helps with many different functions in the body. It's an herb. It actually helps with lowering yeast. It's an antiparasitic. It actually also balances blood sugar. Some of us call it the natural metformin. So taking berberine, 500 milligrams to a gram once or twice a day, is a way to manage blood sugar. And if you're wearing a tracker, you can actually see what your blood sugar is doing as you take this and understand what your body's doing over the course of time as you're on some of these different supplements. Now, berberine, just a caution, you do want to check liver enzymes at least every 90 days or so to make sure that you're not stressing the liver out too much. But in addition to berberine, probiotics are actually a natural Ozempic alternative. And here's why. Probiotics really do determine what your blood sugar is going to do at the end of the day. So understanding that probiotics in a healthy gut play into a healthy blood sugar level, a healthy insulin level, helps these two things work together to really help you lower blood sugar, lower insulin, much like an Ozempic. In addition to probiotics, glutamine is another one that is a natural Ozempic alternative, and another G word, glutathione specifically, and acetylcysteine is also a natural Ozempic alternative. So those four, berberine, probiotics, glutathione, and glutamine, all acting as natural Ozempic alternatives. Now, paired with this, I mentioned food, so many foods. First of all, anything high in protein is going to act in a similar mechanism as an Ozempic or Wegovy or Moderna. But in addition to protein, things like avocados, chia seeds, flax seeds, many of these things, berries, all of these are foods, again, acting to lower your blood sugar, stabilize insulin, keep you full, which is the goal at the end of the day, so you're not mindlessly snacking and eating. And hopefully over time, you see a reduction in blood sugar, a reduction in insulin, that then in turn is a reduction in weight and belly fat. All right, so blood sugar tracking, natural Ozempic alternatives, a huge topic of conversation in 2024. To Ozempic or not to Ozempic? That's always the question. Here's my general guideline just to throw my 2 cents into this. If you have more than 30 pounds to lose and you have worked through a holistic weight loss plan, then yes, you might want to think about one of these medications. But if you haven't done that as a starting step, well, the side effects to me are simply not worth it. And by the way, I do run my holistic weight loss and detox workshop. It starts at the end of January. So for those of you listening, check that out. Go to drtaz.com and you will see the links there to jump into that workshop. It's going to be a 4-week workshop on a lot of these topics, a deep dive into the science, the chemistry, and understanding you so that you can really emerge out of it, making 2024 your best year yet. I am so excited about it. Okay, I can't talk 2024 health trends without talking about one of the biggest trends we saw in 2023 spilling on over into 2024, and that is your hormones, understanding your hormones, the nature of hormone shifting and hormone balancing, and how that plays into your overall health, where we are seeing that everywhere. Now, there's a book that you might have heard of called The Hormone Shift that came out in October of 23, talking about that east-west approach to hormone balancing and how really understanding hormones begins at 12, 13, goes on past 70, because it's all connected. Right? Those words again. But we have seen it in other formats, not just mine. We are seeing hormone trackers. We are seeing hormone tests. We are seeing hormone platforms. I literally think in the last year or so, there's so many platforms that are out there now for menopause, perimenopause, PCOS, all these different things. And we're seeing a lot of conversation around it, which is continuing as we hit 2024. Here's what I would take away from it. Your hormones will continue to be relevant and important in 2024, and diving into them and understanding how they play into your overall health, critical in really optimizing you and helping you step into your power. Now, the hormone conversation is not just a one data point conversation either. It is a well-rounded conversation, understanding how the hormones are influencing everything from your blood sugar, your mood, your energy, your weight, your sleep, even your relationships, and how you present yourself in the world. So, staying on that hormone train in 2024, of course, we're going to stay on it way past then, but that is absolutely a trend for this year. All right, let's talk about a couple more, some of which you guys might already, as superpowered women, be diving into. One is really at-home testing, right? We're busy. It's hard to run to the doctor. I get it. We have all kinds of ways today to track and trend what's going on with you, whether it's stool tests to look at your microbiome, food allergy and food intolerance tests, hormone tracking that you can do at home, nutrient testing. Here, and you'll hear doctors debate this, right? Are these tests valid? Are they accurate? How much do we really want to get into them? Again, guys, let's not go blue in the face debating the merits of one versus the merits of the other. The point of at-home lab testing is to give you data that you can trend and track yourself over time. If you know your hormone level is here one day and 3 months later it's at a different place, well, that's real-time data again that you can start to use to understand how to take care of your body. So I love this. I love that there's at-home testing, and sitting now in the exam room and sitting in that chair and interpreting all of this stuff. I get it. I love it because I can get a quick snapshot before I get whatever information I'm wanting to get of what might be happening with you, the patient. So I love it. At-home testing, I think, is here to stay. I think it's going to be another tool in the patient and the consumer's pocket as they try to understand themselves and communicate how they're feeling, right? How each of you are feeling, what's making you feel good or bad to the doctor sitting in front of you. All right, let's do the last one. It's all about longevity, guys. We're living longer. I was pretty offended. I got to tell you the story. I don't know. I shouldn't be offended. I should take that word back. I apologize. But when I turned 50, I'm 51 right now. I'll be 52 in April. When I turned 50, I got a beautiful invitation to the AARP. And I'm like, stop. I'm not AARP yet. I'm not even close to retiring, thinking about retiring, wanting to retire, any of that stuff. Why am I getting this invitation? Well, it's because the paradigm has shifted. 50 is no longer old. It's not retirement age. We're all living longer. When you turn 50, you probably have another solid 30 years of productivity to go. And that means you could take on a new career. You could have another family or adopt more children. You could get remarried, right? If you've lost a spouse in the process. We just watched, okay, this is again confession time. I watched The Golden Bachelor last night. Have to say I was super, super impressed and inspired by what you were seeing there, because so many people think that their story ends after 40, 50, somewhere in between. But the point being, you can't do any of those things if you don't feel good, if you're not optimized, if you don't have energy, a stable mind, a stable mood, all of these things. So the idea of longevity and being able to manage it and master it is very much a 2024 health trend. Whether that means understanding big words like inflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction, methylation, toxicity, that's one direction to go in with a lot of testing and digging in every now and then, or whole body MRIs or whole body scanning. It's data and information to educate you about you and to help you understand what you need to be your most vital into every decade. Here are the fundamentals. We know diet will always matter. We know getting enough protein, fat, and fiber will always be a rule of thumb. We know that the muscle that you have will determine how vital you are in your later years. We know that your skin matters too, and the nature of your skin health. And we know that cognitive health and focusing on the mind and how the mind is growing or not is a critical piece of longevity. And that's where things like hormone and hormone balancing come into play, sleep quality, airway quality, all of these things are critical to determining your ability to live, not just for a long time, but to live with a lot of energy and power. All right, so that's my roundup. Those are the top 2024 health and wellness trends coming up this year. I'm honestly excited about all of them. I think they're all here to make us better. They don't feel as trendy or as fatty as previous years, right? When it was a paleo kick or an intermittent fasting kick or a vegan kick or any of these kicks. It's really more now about stepping back, understanding that your health is connected. It's important for you to put the puzzle pieces of your health together and to find the tools and the data and the tests that give you the information you need and to build that team around you. All right, I hope this information was helpful. I'm super excited about 2024. I hope you will join me in all the content that we've planned for this year. We have multiple workshops on varying topics, everything from weight loss and detox, rebooting and resetting your hormones, looking at PCOS, endometriosis, looking at hair loss, and more. We have a hormone summit in the works, so can't wait to tell you more about that. And then I will be doing a retreat this year at the Omega Institute. So again, so many opportunities for all of you to step into your power. Just check out my website, drtaz.com, to help you understand kind of what's going on with all the programming. All right. And I want to thank you all for being such amazing listeners and viewers of my podcast. This has been an incredible journey for me. We'll continue to work and strive to make the podcast better and better. So if there's a topic that you really want to hear about, email me. Email hello@drtaz.com and we'll dive into it. All right. I will see you guys next time.